Hey, this is Bentley, one of my dogs, one of my favorites. They're all my favorite though. I wanted to tell you what happened with him. A couple weeks ago, he came in from the backyard, and there was a little bit of blood on his front paw. And I wiped the blood off, and I looked at his leg. I didn't see anything, but of course he's a Sheltie, and they have a lot of fur. Um, so we didn't really think a lot of it. I couldn't find anything. He's kind of rough with himself sometimes, and he runs around the yard really, really fast like a horse. You can hear him galloping. It's how loud he is if you're out there. And sometimes he pulls a muscle, and he'll limp a little bit. He started to limp after we saw that blood, and we didn't think much of it again because, like I said, he does pull muscle periodically, and it gets better in a few days. So when he started limping, we assumed that that's what happened. But then he became very listless and um, I don't know, just not himself. He was laying around and stuff, and my wife found him one morning. He had was laying in his bed and had peed in his bed while I was laying down. Um, so I took him to the vet. They examined him, and they shaved his front paw. And after he was shaved, we saw that he had been bitten by something. We didn't know what it was. We just assumed it was a bite. And that was the assumption. So they did a bunch of tests because we are trying to figure out if he had sepsis or not. Um, because when they shaved his paw, like I said, they found the snake wound, but later um, we found another area that had started to have issues, and what we think happened was he the snake venom, which we did determine it was a snake after I took him to the vets again, because over the weekend after we went to the vets the first time, he became worse, and I had to carry him both times into the vet or have a gurney to take him into the vet. And we had to carry him in there. And we actually thought we were going to have to put him down. That's how bad he was. Vet tech there, she tried to encourage us that, to stick with it, that he could get better, even though we weren't sure. But they seemed to think it was worth a try to get him better. Um, so we did, and we got a bunch of medicines to go with the ones that we had gotten from the last place. So we had him back again in a few days, and we saw a different vet because the other one had been out of town, and I was a little frustrated, and so a different vet took over. Um, and At this point, we could see, as mentioned before, another area that was having issues. There was a necrosis, which is a dying of the skin that set in down on his side. And that basically was believed to be because that's kind of where the venom settled in his belly area. And so it was black, and it was not nice looking. And I will show a little bit of it here, but I don't think you really want to see. Some people will not want to see that, so I won't show it completely. But that area got pretty big, and they put him on some antibiotics, gave him some pain medicine. He had some pain medicine from the other place, so he had that already. They gave us They gave us an antibiotic. The first place, I don't think they gave us one at the time. I can't remember. Um, it's kind of a blur between the two places. Um, the We talked about maybe doing some laser treatments to try to get the skin to heal, and what our options were. We could have surgery to take off the dead skin and try to sew it up, or we could try to work and wait for it to heal and whatever. So the surgery was kind of expensive, and we decided to we tried the healing option, which would just kind of take longer. Um, so he was going to the vets. One of the suggestions of the veterinarian was to do laser treatments. The laser treatment is supposed to help the skin
what they are because
regenerate by increasing blood flow, getting rid of some bacteria, I believe, and do other things. So he was going to do 3 of those a week, and they use some medicine called silver sulfadiazine. Silver sulfadiazine, 1% cream. But anyway, they put that medicine on some padding, put it up against the wound, and then wrapped it. And then I had to change his bandages every day, so it was a couple different layers of bandages. We used gauze pads with the medicine against the wound, and then we wrapped it with like a what do they call it? Cast wrap, sort of almost like a cotton that you'd have inside of a cast. You wrap that up. Then after that, we used gauze to try to keep that in place, and after that, we used a wrap of some kind that the vets use, and it kind of sticks to itself. So it was kind of quite an adventure to wrap him, and unwrapping him wasn't a problem because you just cut it off, but wrapping him up could be a little bit of a problem, especially in the beginning. He didn't even really want to stand up, and it's pretty difficult to wrap a dog's torso when he didn't want to stand up. Bentley, he wasn't eating, really. Anything he could eat was a win for us, but he just didn't eat very much. He didn't drink very much, but he was drinking and eating, and he was going to the bathroom. He could, the next day, I think it probably was after we went to the second vet, he could walk a little bit, and could go outside and go to the bathroom and stuff. He wasn't having any bowel movements at that point. So we continue to go to the vet and get the laser treatments. And we continue to go now because he's still not well. But he is doing better. He is eating now. He is, for the most part, his attitude is more what it was before he got bit. You know, he's a lot more up, walking around. But he does lay down a lot in his crate. He'll lay down and just kind of rest during the day a lot of times. So eventually, what has happened is the dead skin has come off, or we have removed it with scissors because it kind of just peels away like a scab. Underneath of that dead skin is very bright red skin, and that's a sign of the healing that's going on there, and that's where the laser treatments get applied. Later on, we found out that there was like a stem cell kind of treatment that could be done, and the vet managed to get a free sample from the manufacturer, I guess, and they did give him that as well, and that involves several needles in that area around it on the periphery of the affected area. That was about a week ago. His skin does seem to be making good progress. He is eating more or less normally now. He's finally gotten back to where he was eating. For a while there, he was vomiting a lot because the medicines need to be taken with food, and he didn't take food, and so they were causing him to get sick, and but we got past that. We started using omeprazole and some nausea medicine, and that helped a lot. And since then, he's been eating good well, and he is over drinking a little bit, but I think he always was a big drinker, just with or no alcohol, and sometimes he gets sick when he drinks too much, so we kind of have to watch that and make sure he's okay. So he's doing okay. We're going to keep, working with him. We're going to keep wrapping and unwrapping his bandages. The vet has now put him back to 2 times a week. So he'll get his bandages changed 3 times, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then probably Sunday. And then his visit to the vet will be Monday and Friday for his laser treatments. And it's just nice to go in there and let them take a look, see how things are going. So I think the advice here, or the key thing here, is a couple different things. First, if you've got a dog that has any blood on it anywhere, you've got to find the source of that blood and see what caused it. If I had found that and found out that it was a snake bite, we could have probably got him to the emergency vet and had antivenom. By the time it was identified as a snake bite, the antivenom wouldn't help. So it was not an option anymore. Second, be aware of your surroundings. Now, we've lived here for about 10 years, and don't even think I've seen a snake around, not any kind. And here this happened, and we're not really sure why. We think maybe he was passing through, looking for a mate or looking to hibernate. There are many cornfields around here. There's a pond nearby and a stream, and so he may have been heading there, or she, whichever. And it just kind of was a fluke thing, but it just goes to show you how your life can change in an instant. Not only with pets, but with people. You can feel like you're having the worst day ever, and one event can happen, and it can make that be a worser day or maybe a better day. And so you just kind of have to keep moving forward. And if you have faith, keep your faith in God that, He is going to be working for you. If you don't, keep positive energy flowing through whatever the situation is. So for the time being, Bentley's going to continue to see the vet, as I said. I will post an update when things improve somewhat and there's something more significant to see. But we appreciate your thoughts and prayers for him. If you like the content here and you want to get more from the channel, Life Lessons with Dave, we talk about just about anything, really. Today was the dog, but marriage, goals, finances, relationships. I feel like I'm forgetting one, jobs. So go ahead and hit that subscribe if you're interested in hearing more about that. And hit that like button. I'm 63 years old, currently unemployed, and that's going to be the subject of my next video. So we hope to take the time to hit subscribe and hit the like button and hear about that. We appreciate your thoughts and prayers for him, and we'll see you next time.